This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. Is my screen is visible? Is it clear? Is my voice is clear? Is there any difficulty in it? Super. Okay, so just I was checking with the some default examples that we started yesterday. So okay, so okay, this one. Hope. Mm, okay. Okay, guys, I'm using magnifier. Is it visible that what are the things that I'm showing? Like I have showing you the fields type null. Is that visible? I'm just zooming in this field. Yes. Okay, fine. If it is fine, then that's good. That's good. Okay, thank you. Okay, so before that, I'm just use this. Okay, so first I'm going to drop all the databases and tables. So drop. So yesterday we have started with DDL. So there is create or drop or alter or modify. So these are the things that we started with. So first I'm going to drop the table. Drop table. So before that I have two tables. So one is student table, another one is department table. I hope that is visible here. So I have two tables. One is department table and also student table. Just a minute, I'll zoom in. So can you able to see this? So tables. So what are the tables? So these tables are inside my tutorials database. Yes. Can you able to see this? These tables that are inside my tutorials database. Yes, super. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop the table. So I'm going to drop department. So after that we are going to after that we are going to create it again. So to drop. So as you can see, so drop table. So 0 rows affected. So the command has been executed. It has executed without error. So drop table department. So now this table has been removed from my tutorials table. So which is nothing but it's completely removing all the structure. Okay, similarly I'm going to so before that truncate. So I want to show the truncate example. So for truncate, so truncate is nothing but it'll erase all the data and just give it as a simple the initial state of my table. So for that I can show the students. So student table has some fields, some data in it. So there is it has 2 to 3 roll numbers and name and person and date of birth and ID. So something it has it. So now I'm going to truncate this. So truncate table student. So once I have executed this, you can see the command has been executed, truncate table student. So 0 rows affected. So now I'm going to check what are the data that are inside my student table. So now I'm executing select star from, so there is no data which states, which is nothing but which is removing all the data and also just creating the table as a fresh table. So that is the concept that's happening here. And also you can see in this, you can also see here this table student is available. So truncate is nothing but just removing all the data from my entire table structure. Is that clear? So this is the difference between truncate and drop. So drop is completely removing, completely eliminating the table from my database, whereas truncate is just only removing all the data that are inside my table. So this is the difference between this drop and truncate, and this is one of the important question that is repeatedly asked in technical HRs. So what is the difference between drop and truncate? Okay, so after this, we are going to drop the table. Okay, so now I'm going to use drop table student. So this will remove the table completely. As you can see, the command has been executed, drop table student. So it is executed successfully. So which shows that green tick, and also you can see here the table doesn't have any tables inside my tutorials database. I don't have any tables in it. And whereas when coming to my database, so there is only two things. One is create database or drop database. There is no concept for truncate database. So I'm going to drop this tutorials database. So for table, I have drop table and truncate table. Whereas for database, I have only create and drop. So now I'm going to drop my complete database. So I'm going to use database, drop database and database name followed by database name. That is going to be tutorial. So if I execute this, yes, you can see this drop database tutorial has been successfully executed, and the database tutorial is completely removed from my list of databases, list of DBs that I have. So up to this is everyone is clear. So how drop and truncate is works, and what is there for drop database? Yes. So now we are going to create a new database. So whenever I'm going to start, first I have to select a database which I'm going to work on. So right now I don't have any database to work on because these are default databases that is already available in MySQL. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new query window. Okay. Yes. Guys, those who joined without your roll number, please join with your roll number. Roll number and name. Join with your roll number and name. Edit your names. Okay, so let's start with creating a database. So what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to Okay. So create. Okay. Is my text is clear? Is my text is visible? Yes, super. So we are going to create database. So database, create database. So now I'm going to create a database with a different database name. So um, what we can give, either we can create with the tutorials database name or with a different database name, any name that we can create it. Okay, nature. Okay, fine. So I'm going to create a database name as nature. So now I'm going to execute this command. So whenever I'm executing this command, you can see database created successfully. So now I'm going to see whether the database is created or not. See, as you can see here, the nature database is there. Nature, nature. Yes, so now we are going to start. See, as you can see right now, no database has been selected for my use. So it is just created and it is available there. Now I have to start using my database. So for that, I will be using this command. I will be using this use database nature. Okay, so the database should not be there. Just the database name is enough. So we don't want to specify is use database. Just the database nature. Use nature. So now, as you can see, use nature. So it selects the database which I'm going to use, and also in this you can see that. So nature has been bolded. So it states that the current working database. So this is the current working database we are going to use. And you can see right now there is no tables there. There is no table that has been created. Yes, so now we are going to create a table. So tell me some table name and the fields to be inside the table. We can create a table. And also before that we know that the types, the data types that are available here. So I'm using a command line. So data types. So data types. So we have int and we have tiny int, small int, blob like that. So and after that we have a char, which is also similar to character or character array. So and also varchar, which have a long space, and again we have text, and also I hope text is not available in MySQL. Okay, so the default. So next is date. So these are some example data types that are already there. So with this, we are going to create a create a table. So we are going to use create table. Now followed by table name. So table name. So just tell me any table name. Just suggest me some table names so that we can create it, because or else I'll be creating the same old college database student. So like that, we'll be creating the same. If there is anything new, we can create it. Okay, scenery. Okay, okay, start with this. So scenery. So scenery is a table name, and this table is going to have some columns. So like name or the place or its location, like that. So Okay, so we start with this. So first I'm starting with ID. So ID is going to be int, and this is going to be not null. So these are the constraints that I'm going to add it. And also I'm going to give a constraint like auto increment. Is auto increment. And also I'm going to add the name of the scenario of this scenery. So name or place name. Okay. Okay, just name. So name, the data type is going to be varchar. So varchar of size. So size is going to be see, I hope you can see these data types. So what are the data types? It's available there. Date and time, fixed, float, geometry, collection, int, JSON object, long, medium, natural. So is this visible? It's already showing me what are the data types that are there for it. So just I started with simple data types, but these much data types are already available in MySQL, and we cannot tell that all these data types are available for all the databases because each database has its own constraints and own way of creating it. So just I'm going to create this varchar of name is going to be of 50 size, and also and keeping a constraint. So this should not be null. So I'm giving it as a not null. And after this, so place, at which place it is located. So place varchar of 50, and I'm keeping this also not null. And also open date. So open, so it is a when it is open, and also if I want anything else like close date. So I'm keeping the database as data type as date. So with this, I'm going to create this table. So and I have not given any specific primary key here. So to specify that, we can keep anything as primary key. Like so, we already have this ID. So ID is not null, and it is an integer type, and I can use this as my primary key. So after this, so in MySQL will be initially. So in Oracle, we can directly tell this is my primary key as by adding a space after this, and I can tell it as primary key. But in MySQL, we have to give it as the last. So last we have to add it as a s comma. So primary key of ID. So this will select the primary key. Similarly, if I want to add foreign key, then I'll be adding foreign key and which field I'm going to keep it as a foreign key, and also from where I'm going to take this foreign key. So this is the command that to execute. So as you can see, I hope you can see this. So create a table scenery. So with all these constraints. So now if we refresh this databases, so you can see there is a table that is available inside my nature. So that is scenery. So the table that we have created. So the command to use that is used to create table is so create scenery followed by the column name. So create is a command which is going to create. It is going to create either table or database, whatever we need. So now I have created a table. So I have followed it with the table command. So after that, the table name is given. So if I want to create a database, then we have to use this create database name followed by database name. So similarly, here create table followed by table name. So followed by the column names and the type or the data type of it, and followed by that we can have constraints like not null or auto increment. So if I want it to be unique, so then I can add it as unique. So once we declare this as a primary key, always it is a combination of both not null and unique. So after this we have this So open date, close date. So data type is going to be date, and also I'm setting this primary key as ID. So if I want to view this table, so how it is created inside my database. So for that I have a command like describe. So describe my table. So that is going to be scenario. So this will tell how this is created. See, as you can see this, I hope you can see this. So field, type, and whether it is null is allowed or not, and also key, whether it is a primary key or a foreign key or anything. If I have any default values, no, that should be here, and also extra constraints. If I have any extra constraints, that is also be added here. So first I'm starting with ID. So ID type is integer, and whether I'm allowing null, no, I'm not allowing null, and whether what is the key constraint here, it is a primary key constraint, and followed by I have also given it as an auto increment. So next I'm having this field name as name and place, which I have varchar of 50, and I'm not allowing null to it. And similarly there is no other constraints here, and also I have opened it and closed it, which allows null here, which allows null. So that is the constraint here, that is null is allowed here, and it is not going to be any key here, and also there is no extra constraints here. So that is a description of my table that we have created. So now we are going to add the values to it. So by default auto increments will always start from 1. So if I want to start it, then I can give the value. If I don't want to, then I don't want to add it. So now I'm going to insert into table name, that is going to be scenery. So what are the fields I'm going to insert? So what are the fields I'm going to insert? So I'm skipping this integer, sorry, ID. Instead of ID, I'm going to insert only name, and I'm going to place, and also open date, and also close it. Just I'm checking it whether it is accepting without any start value or not. So these are the fields that I'm going to insert, that is name field, place, and open date and close it. So these are the fields that I'm going to insert. So for that I have to use these values. So values of first one, name is a varchar. So for that I have to insert with the character. So that is here I have to use a single quotes, so which will allow me to insert as a string or a varchar array. So the here, so name is going to be a, I'm keeping it as a park. So if I want a park name, that is going to be okay. And where it is located, so it is located, and when it is open, so open date. So here the date format should be like year and followed by month and followed by date. So this is the default date format that is allowed. If we want to change the format, then we have to use some different constraints, but by default they uses this constraint as year in the 4 characters, followed by hyphen, and followed by the month in 2 characters, and also followed by hyphen and followed by date in the 2 characters. So there is a default format that is used in MySQL. So here I'm starting with the year is going to be 2000, it started in 2000, and the month is going to be so 01, and the year, sorry, date is going to be 01. I'm going to keep it as it is, and I'm not having um, what I'm not having any close date. So because so the close date is not yet specific. So what I'm going to give is I'm just going to give the close date as null. So now I'm going to execute this. So just I have executed that command. So with I'm inserting just name, place, open date, and close date. Whereas name is the park name, so I'm just giving it as a Lulu Park. And where it is located, the place is going to be Bangalore, and it's going to be the open date. And the close date, I don't know the close date, so I'm just giving it as a null value. So apart from this, so I have inserted this value. Now I'm going to view whether the value is inserted correctly or not. So for that, we'll be using this select command. So select star from scenery. So now you can see this. I have not given ID value here. You can see this. I have only inserted the name value, place, and the open date and close date. So the values that are inserted inside my table. Is this visible? The table's value inserted. So ID started from 1. Since we have given that as a primary key, and also it should be unique, and also I can increment it. So I'm telling it, I'm allowing it to auto increment it. So what happens is it is automatically incrementing the value, and its starting value is 1. So starting from 1, and the name of the park is inserted, and where the place and the open date, and also the close date, I have given the value as null. So there's no value has been added here. Is this clear? So now we have seen how to create a database, how to drop a database, how to create a table, and how to drop a table, and how to view the table contents by using this describe command. And after that, we have inserted a value to my table. So up to this, is everyone clear? And also we have used some constraints. So constraints like not null and auto increment, and also null primary key constraints. So we have seen these constraints. So how to give it into my MySQL database. Guys, is this clear? Is this clear? Okay, normally in technical HR, what will happen means, when you are facing when you are in technical HR, what they'll be doing is they'll be giving you a pen and paper, and they'll be asking you to start to write codes, and they'll be expecting you to create table like this. So they want you to create a table. They'll be just giving these values, like I'm going to create a table of student, and the student table contains the field headers or the fields as roll number, name, and mark. Similarly, I'm going to create another table, the person. So person's value, the fields which are here, and you have to they'll be asking you to write query to create these two tables with proper constraints and data types. So you have to write this as clear as it possible. If you are missing any constraints, like if you are missing a not null, or if you are missing an auto increment, if you are missing a primary key constraint, then the question rises, why you are not using primary key here? So this is the way the technical HR will start and go. So if you are missing any constraints, then you should be able to explain it, why I have not used that constraint here. If I'm skipping a not null, or if I'm skipping as a null value is allowed, then you have to tell that why you are allowing a null value. Because for example, in this my example, I have given as open date and close date. So these both fields can allow null values, because there is a possibility that we do not know this open date and close date. So that I'm allowing a null value over here. But name and place, I'm not allowing null, because without a name and without a place, a scenery cannot exist. Is it correct? So I'm not allowing null here. And also I'm keeping it as a primary key. So I'm keeping ID as a primary key, which is easy to access the data uniquely. Yes, because I can have another scenario in the same Lulu Park that is located in the Bangalore. But if I'm going to take a value that are unique in this table, then I cannot take it. So that it may reduce my number of items in my table. So to identify unique values or unique items in my table, then I should need a primary key, so that I'm using this ID as my primary key. Is it clear? Okay, any doubts? Okay, just I'm going to add some more values here. Okay, I hope I have added these values. Okay, so I just added 3 to 4 values and here. So part 2, flower garden, viewpoint, and Vedanagar. So I have added some with close date and also with null values. Okay, now I'm going to create another table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another person table, uh, which is going to have the scenario that the person has been visited. So in that, the scenario ID is going to be my foreign key here. So now I'm going to create a table, create table person. So with ID, so which is going to be my person ID. So this is going to be not null and also unique, and also I'm going to keep it as auto increment. Okay, before that I have to specify the data type of it, that is going to be int. So now I can get this auto increment. Okay, I can give it in a new one. And after that name, so which is going to be varchar of, I'm giving it as a 50 characters. So after that name varchar, and I'm giving it as a mail. So I'm also giving the name as not null. So not null constraint. So it is going to be not null and mail. Okay, 50. And I'm giving it as it may be null. And after that, I'm going to add this scenery ID. So there is going to be yes ID. So this is going to be int, and the constraint is going to be foreign key. So foreign key of SID. So reference. So reference table name. So the table name is going to be scenery. In that, which field I'm going to select, that is going to be ID. Just a minute, I'll check my syntax whether this is correct or wrong. Okay. Yes, so foreign key, course ID, reference, course ID. Yes, you have given it correctly. I hope so. Okay, so okay, so what is this error? Okay, no, whether there is some error it's happening. Okay, I'm just missing some keywords. I'm just a minute, I'll check it. 1 second. AMC reference persons current. இங்க என்ன தப்பு பண்ணிருக்கேன்? Okay, just a minute. Okay, as I mentioned, so I have to give a separate line here. So that is the error that is here. So foreign key constraint. So see. So what is it? Or if yes, reference. Yes, I have missed a yes. Yeah. So it's a scenario ID. So scenery ID. So this is going to be yes. So I hope the error has been clear. So I have to give the constraint at the last of my syntax. So after initializing this column name, that is scenery ID, and which data type is going to be in, because the same data type has been used in the scenery table. And also I'm giving the constraint as foreign key SID reference scenery. And also I have to initialize this ID as a primary key. So for that I have to give another one more constraint that is going to be so primary key of ID. So this is my primary key constraint. And after that, I'm giving my foreign key constraint. So after giving it, I'm just closing this and I'm going to create the table. So I hope this is the table that we're going to create. So create table person. So person with ID, which is going to be int, and it is going to be not null and unique and auto increment. And also name is varchar, and I'm not allowing null. And also mail ID, it's null, and I'm going to keep it as a SID. So SID, I'm going to keep this as a reference for my sceneries ID. So this is the table, or we can just give it as a scenery underscore ID. Also, we can give it. So that is our preference. So now I'm going to execute this. So once I'm executing this, the table will be created. So as you can see, so where is it? Yes, I hope you can see this. So now the scenery and person, both the tables are here. Now I'm going to describe this person table so that we can understand what are the things that are there in my. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so yes. Okay, so now I'm going to use the command describe. So describe person. So person. So which will describe the table. So here we can see this. So here this ID is going to be integer. It is not allowing it. It is a primary constraint. And here you can see this. Yes, ID is going to be a foreign key, and they have given us a keyword like MUL. I don't know what is the symbol, but this is a foreign key constraint. So and also extra constraint is auto increment, and the rest of the field is going to be name and mail ID. So now we are going to add or insert values into my person table. Okay, so insert. So insert into person. So values. So here I'm going to start the first ID as 101. Let's see what happens. And the name is going to be Arun, and the mail ID is going to be arun@a.in, and followed by the SID. SID is going to, I'm going to use a scenario ID as 1 here, and just I'm going to execute it. So since there is the ID, the primary key which we set is going to be a person ID, the person ID that which is not already initialized. I'm keeping the first value which is going to start as person ID is going to be 101. Hope you can see this. So the first ID is started as 102 because this is the first one I'm going to initialize. So whenever I'm giving it as an auto increment, if the first value is not initialized, I can give the first value by me. And after that, after inserting my first value, I don't want to give this ID number. Just I can use this insert into person, insert into person. So here I'll be using this. What are the fields I'm going to insert? That is going to be name and also mail and also SID. So these are the things that I'm going to insert of values of values. So the person name. So the person name is going to be the person name and mail ID and also the scenario ID. So there's going to be 2. So after inserting it, now I can see this. What is the value that are inside my person? So as you can see, the second person ID is already incremented, and it is going to start from the first value which we started. That is 101. So this is a way of inserting the values into my DB, and I can see, as you can see, this SID is added to it. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Up to this everyone is clear, so because yesterday we have started with this and we have gone through this, and after this we have seen this alter table. So alter table. So if you want examples, I can show you, or else we can continue the today's topic. Do you want example for alter table? Okay, so okay, let's see an example of this. So what we can do is, so we try to modify some data, or we try to add a column to it, add a column to scenery and person, scenery and person. Okay, so alter table, alter table. So which has 2 to 3 things. One is like add column or modify column or add constraints. Add constraints. Similarly, delete a column, or I hope drop is not there. Okay, so these are some of the fields that are, and also rename. So these are the things that we can do with alter. So alter is nothing but changing the structure of my table. So that is the thing, that the table is already there. Now we are going to change its structure by either by adding a column or removing a column, or renaming the column, or you can also alter the table. Alter table by changing the name of the table. We can also change that. So now I'm going to give example for this. Add a column. So alter table. So the followed by the table name. So table name is going to be scenery. So here I'm going to add a new column. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a column as so add column. So what column I'm going to add is, so I can add n number of columns here. I can add either one column or I can add n number of columns, the same way that we are using for creation. So here I'm going to add it as a start time. So start time. So its format is going to be time. I can use either date and time or time. So we can give anyone it is. So similarly I can add it as a close. So close time. So which is going to be time. So after this, I'm executing my query. So which will alter my existing table. So now we can describe our table, existing table. So I hope we have already described here. So describe scenario. So I'm just going to execute it. So now you can see the description of my description of my scenery table, which has ID, name, place, open date, close date, and also I have start time. The data type is going to be time, and also my close time. These two fields are two fields that has been added now. So now I can see the data that are already there in my scenery table. So now you can see this. So we have ID, name, place, open date, close date, start time, and close time. So now I can add it. I can update my values. So now I can update my existing scenery column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my update command. So instead of using update, sorry, insert, I'm going to use my update command. So what I'm going to do is update table. So scenery, table name, that is going to be scenery. So what values I'm going to update? So values I'm going to update are my start time underscore time, and also close time underscore time. So these are the two values that I'm going to update. So values, what is the values I'm going to add is, so I'm going to add the start time is going to be 9, and the close time is going to be 4. That is going to be 16. So I have to follow with my condition where. So where I'm going to update it. So update is will always follow with the where condition. So where my ID is equal to 1. Okay, I'm making another mistake here. Just I will check what is the mistake over here. So just I'm going to use my, where is it, update. Okay, So update, okay, I don't want the keyword table, so just the table name. So update table name, so followed by the conditions. So this is my syntax. So I'm just use the table command here, so I don't want that, so just removing it. So update table name, so followed by my column. It is still showing error. Okay, okay, just a minute, I'll check this. Okay. Oh, I have to use set command here. So set, I have missed the value set. Okay. Okay, I have to use the set command here. I should not use it as a application. So okay, so as you can see, update table name followed by set column one equal to value, column two equal to value. So this is the syntax that we have to use. So I'm using the same syntax. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use set, so followed by start time. So start time equal to value is going to be 9 a.m. comma close time. The close time is going to be 14. And after this, where condition, so where my ID equal to 1. So now, right now, there is no value for start time and end time for ID 1. So now we are going to set it. So just I'm going to update these values, start time and close time, for my scenery table. So now if I see this, so as you can see, the time has been updated here. So start time and end time, close time has been updated here. So this, in this way we can update it, and also we can alter the table. So alter is nothing but add, modify. So add a column or modify a column or add a constants like foreign key or add null, not null, primary key. So and also like delete a key and rename a table. So these are the, this is the way. So here instead of add, if I want to modify, then I have to add the keyword as modify. If I want to delete, then I have to delete column. So instead of this, I'm going to add it. Is it clear? So this is the way that we have to use it. So uh, so this is not the actual syntax that will be used by all the DBs, because each database will use its own way of initializing the syntaxes. So this, what I'm showing you right now, is an example for MySQL. Is it clear? Guys, is it clear? Is this clear or not? Clear or not? Have any doubts? Have any doubts regarding creation, deletion, alter table, update values, insert values? Super. Let's continue our work. Okay, so yesterday we started with this. So create. So we have shown an example how to create a table and how to create a database and how to set the constraints like foreign key. And also we have seen these data types, that is integer, character, varchar, and date, and constraints as not null, unique, and primary key. So alter table. So that is going to be add or modify. So these are some constraints. So alter table, table name, add column followed by the data type. Similarly, so we can add n number of columns here. So if I, for a single column here, they have given a alter table student with add percentage integer. So just they have added it. So similarly, the table name. So old name, rename to new name. So alter table, old name, command rename. So which will allow me to rename the table to new name. So for that, we have to use this rename command. So rename to. So there is a command which you can use. So similarly for modify, I have to use this modify keyword. So student modify roll number as, so from one data type to another data type. So there is integer to varchar. So I'm changing it. Similarly for drop, so drop table, I'll be using this drop table, table name, or truncate table, table name. If I'm using to delete a what drop a database, then I'll be using drop database followed by database name. So after that, we'll be seeing this DML. So DML is nothing but insert query. So insert and delete. So delete. So same, which is very similar to insert. So delete from table. So delete from table with condition. So where is a keyword which is used to give conditions. So I can have n number of conditions. So where is a keyword which is used to give me conditions. So without condition, if I give a normal delete command means which will delete all the values inside my table. Is that clear? So delete table. So delete from table name without var condition. If I'm giving it without a var condition, then that may leads to deletion of all the records from my table. So whenever using delete and update, so these two commands should be used with prior or with more privileged customers should use this, because without these constraints, without this var, which will affect the entire table fields. So mostly whenever using delete and update, you have to check whether the var condition is given correctly or not, because without var condition, that will lead to deletion of all the records in my fields. Is that clear? So this is my DML. So DML is manipulation. Manipulation is nothing but insert, delete, and update. So with this, we can update these values. So we are using this command update with table name followed by set column 1 value 1. So var condition. So similarly, I can add for n number of columns. So column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4 with followed by var condition. So now what are the operators that I can use in my var class? So what are the operators that I can use in my var classes? So we can use equal. So what are the things that, so we normally have these operators, the condition checking operators, that is going to be equal. And so here in equal, it is going to be just single equals and also not equal. In some databases, they'll be using like this, equal, not equal as this command. So I hope you can see this. I hope you can see this. Okay, yes, so I'll be increasing the font size. Okay, so these are the constraints. So one is greater than or less than equal to, similarly greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. All these keywords combinations can be used in var class. So we can use multiple conditions by using this and or keywords. So I can add after this. So we are also having this. So we have a constraint like between constraint. So starting from one constraint to next constraint. So that is in the range operator. So where ID between ID between 0 to 10. So like that we can give a constraint. So we have a option. So we have these between and also like and also in constraint. So in Python we'll be using in like constraints. No, the same is available in SQL for var classes. So var class can have all these operators. So and or and also between like and in. So which will help me to identify the range or the values that are only available within these values or the values which are very similar to these values. So for similar values that we can use it as like, and for within the range I can use is between, and in is a random values I can use it. So like for example in between, so in it will be checking 1 2 5 6 7 and 8. So only these values that are there where the ID is in. So I will be checking this as where ID in these range. So which will give me the output of only the ID which are matching with this 1 2 5 6 7. So similarly, like, so like is nothing but where name like. So like will always with have regex format. We can manipulate the data with regex. So like it is like it start with T start, which will map all the values which are starting with T. So like this, I can give different constraints over here. So similarly, between is nothing but a range operator, which will start and end. So after this, we have this aggregate function. So aggregate function is nothing but average, count, min, max, and sum. So which is pretty much easy. So count is nothing but, so count of ID will give me the count of number of rows available in my table. So we can just see this with an example also. Okay, let's say, so now I have to count number of sceneries that are available in my table. So what I can do is I can select, I can use this aggregate function count of ID, count of ID. So from table that is going to be scenery. So this will return me the total number of entries that are there inside my scenery table. So I hope you can see this. So okay, magnifier. So this count function has given me total count values or count number of rows that are inside my scenery table. So similarly, instead of count, if I want to add sum, so I can add a sum. So sum of IDs. So which will give me the total sum of IDs. That is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Similarly, I can use it as an average. So for this, I can use this average of ID. So which will give me the average of that ID. So this is an example I'm telling you how to use this aggregate function. So like minimum of ID. So which will give me the minimum ID so minimum in that field. So fields can be anything. So here I can give it as a place. So which will give a minimum value, or it will sort the data in a ascending order, and it will return it in the minimum value that is inside my. Similarly, I can have a max value, max place. So which will give me the last value inside my table. So this is how we can use these aggregate functions. So not only these functions, we have n number of aggregate functions there. So just these are some examples how to use the aggregate functions. So aggregate functions are nothing but the simple operations which will easy to manipulate my data. Guys, is it clear? Guys, is it clear? Do you have any doubts in it? Okay, so after that we have DQL. So DQL is nothing but query language. So querying is nothing but to it is not going to do any operation. Like it is not going to insert a value, it is not going to modify any values, it is not going to update or delete. Just it is going to retrieve the data from my table and just going to display. So that commands are going to be called as query. Just it is not going to change or modify or delete any data or any records from my table. So this is called, so actually initially this DQL is not in constraint, which is not actually added there, but later nowadays they are telling this as DQL because it is not going to manipulate my data, it's just going to retrieve and tell me the data. So here so similarly, like what is it, procedures, views. So these all comes under my DQL, which is just going to retrieve the data and it's going to display it. So these types of keywords are called as DQL. So here the select command, so we already know it. So we already know this, what is the select. So select is select star from table, which will get all the values from my specific table. If I want only the specific columns, so for example, if I want only the specific columns from my table, like select open date and close date from scenery. So now this will display only the open date and close date that are present inside my scenery. So we can also select only by using this, the keyword or the field name, so which will display. So if I want to add this name to this, then I can add it. So name, comma, start date and close date. So name and open date and close date, which will get the name of that park and also the open date and close date of the park. If I want to add close date and close time and the place of this location, then I can add this column name here. So which will retrieve all the place name and close date and sorry, close time and open time here. So this is also one way of getting it. So another one way is so after this is a normal DQL. So we also have some more ways to display these data. So where we are going to see these two things. One is subquery and joins. So subquery and joins are coming under DQL, which is going to query my table and it's going to display, which is not going to modify the values. So subquery is nothing but adding a query inside my another query. That is, so for example, here I'm going to select star from scenery, where I'm going to take IDs from, I'm going to, so here if I give the ID as 1, this will give only the ID which is matching to 1. If I'm giving the ID to 2, this will return only the ID that is going to be present in SME2. But now I have to have a condition like the persons who are visited will always have this scenery ID. Correct? The person will always have the scenery ID. So now I have to check all the persons who are visited the different sceneries. So for that, I'm going to use a subquery. So what I'm going to do is select yes ID. So from person. So this will return all the scene ID from my person table. So now all the fields or all the IDs from my person table will be mapped to my scenery ID. So just check it. Okay, I have made some mistake here. So without equals, I can give it as in. Yes. So this will take all this. Yes. So I hope you can see this now. So now the person ID or person table, yes, you can see this. I hope you can see this. So now I'm going to select all the tables from my person. Yes. So in person, I have only 2 records and the SID is going to be 1 and 2. Is this visible, guys? I have 2 persons, one is 1 and 2. So the person visited or scenery 1 and scenery 2 only they have visited. So now I'm just taking all the IDs from my person table and I'm matching these IDs to my scenery table ID. So that all the records. So this is called subquery. So the way of adding a query inside another query is called subquery. Is it clear, guys? Guys, can you able to understand what I'm telling? Just only the sceneries that has been visited by persons is only displaying here. So this is one way of querying. So this the way of adding another query inside another query is called subquery. Guys, do you understand this concept called subquery? Guys, do you understand what is this subquery and how to use it? Okay, just I'm going to add some more fields to my uh, okay, since 6 is not there, it is not inserting it. So now we can see it's inserted. And now also I can insert 5. Okay, so now I have inserted the scenery ID 4 and 5 to my person ID. So now if I give enter, which will give me the places that are visited by persons. Yes, okay. So this is an example for subquery. If I want to add, if I want to combine two tables, this is one way. I have to take one field's value and I have to match all these value to my current table. So this will match all the ID with my IDs that are generated by my another table. So this is the way of adding the query to my insert another query is called subquery. And the next one type is join. So join is nothing but instead of adding the query, we are going to relate these two tables. So there are two types of joins. One is inner join and outer join. So inner join is nothing but intersection, whereas outer join is again split into uh, two things. One is left outer join and right outer join. So left join or right join, which is also called as left outer join and right outer join, which is nothing but a left outer join will always match the equal column from my right table and also include all the values from my left table. So as you can see here, so this is an example for inner join. So just if I have two tables and this inner join will display only the columns that are common to both the tables. So I will be showing an example for this. And left outer join. So left outer join is nothing but it will show all the common fields and also it will add all the fields that are available in my left table. Similarly, right join. So right outer join is nothing but it will display the common fields and also all the fields from my right table. And full join. So full join is nothing but a union of both the tables. So this is one way of querying the table. So this is another way of querying a table. So here we can use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my left table. I'm going to keep my left table as scenery and my right table as person. As you can see, there are different fields here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join both these tables. So I'm going to use an example as inner join. So what I'm going to do is select. So here I'm going to select the person name and place name and also uh, when he is visited that place, like that. I'm going to combine these both values. So for that what I'm going to do is So P dot, so I'm just keeping the P as my alias name for person table. So from P, I'm taking the name and also S as my scenery's alias name. So S dot name and S dot place, and what are things I required here? Okay, just person name and place and name for that. So here, what I'm going to do is from scenery. So here I'm keeping an alias name. So to keep an alias name, I'll be using this keyword as to set the alias name as person underscore name. Similarly, S name is nothing but scenery name. So as scenery underscore name, and okay, I'm just keeping it as single row so that it will not affect this. As scenery underscore place. So from where I'm going to take it, from scenery table. So because the left table is going to be scenery. So from scenery as yes. Now I'm going to do inner join. So inner join. So with whom I'm going to join. So as you can see this syntax. So with whom I'm going to join. So I have to give this inner join of table 2, the objects and the condition. So inner join, I'm going to join which table? I'm going to join person table as P on which condition? On constraint. On which condition? The both the fields that are common for both these tables. So that is going to be on S dot ID is equal to P dot SID. So there is a common field for both these tables. So this is the constraint in which both these fields are matched, which is nothing same, which is similar to this inner join. So நம்ம இங்க என்ன பண்ணிருக்கோமோ அதே தான் இங்கேயும் பண்ண போறேன். இங்க என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன், அந்த சீனரி ஐடியா வந்து ஒவ்வொன்றையும் எடுத்து நான் இங்க பெர்சன்ட் இந்த சீனரி டேபிள்கிட்ட கொடுத்துருக்கேன். அங்க வந்து பட் இங்க என்ன பிரச்சனை அப்படின்னா இங்க சீனரியில இருக்கிற டேபிள்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் நம்ம எடுத்துருந்தோம். But here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both the person's table value and also scenery table value. So இதுதான் ஒரு சின்ன difference between inner query and joins. Okay, so inner join is nothing but which will return only the common values that are available in both these tables, like sceneries from 1 to 4, 5. These are the common values that are available in both these tables. So now I'm going to execute this. So now we can see this. So this magnifier. Okay, I hope you can see this. The person name Arun has visited the scenery Lulu Park and the place is located at Bangalore. Similarly, Anu has visited Park 2 in Tamil Nadu and Badu has visited Viewpoint in Tamil Nadu and Ram has visited Vedanangal in Tamil Nadu. So this is one way. So this is showing the common fields that are available in both the tables. So now if I'm going to use this, so now what I want to do is, if I want all the sceneries that are available and also the persons who visited there, all the scenarios should be there. That is all the sceneries that are available. So for that type of thing, we have to use this left join. So left join is also called as left outer join. So outer join is nothing but will take all the fields from my left table and also the common fields from my right table. So that is my left join or left outer join. So if I execute this, you can see this difference between my previous one. So as you can see, there is no person has visited this flower garden. So flower garden அப்படிங்கிற இடத்த வந்து யாருமே இது வரைக்கும் விசிட் பண்ணல. ஸோ அந்த பர்சன் அதுக்கு மேட்ச் ஆகிற பர்சன் யாருமே கிடையாது. பட் ஆனா மற்றது 1, 2, 4, 5 இந்த 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 பிளேசஸ் எல்லாமே வந்து விசிட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ அவங்களோட இது எல்லாமே இருக்கு. ஸோ ஆல் த வேல்யூஸ் ஃப்ரம் மை லெஃப்ட் டேபிள், தட் இஸ் சீனரி டேபிள், ஹஸ் பீன் added to my result set. So that is my left join or left outer join. So similarly, if I want all the persons from my right table, but here the Okay, GST, right table. So this will get all the values from a right table and also the common fields from my left table. That is my scenery table. So that is my right outer join, right join or right outer join. And full join is not supported by MySQL. So to have that, we can use this union keyword. So full join is not supported, but these are the types of joins that are there for your reference. So is that clear? So inner join and left join and right join. So these are the common fields that are available in MySQL. But full join is also there. Full join is not supported by MySQL. So full join is nothing but union of both the tables, union of both the records from both the tables. Is that clear? So these are the types of joins that are there. Hello, guys, is that clear? Do you understand this? So joins and inner query are the common questions that will be normally facing in interviews. So what I suggest is, I hope you already practice this SQL tutorials from SkillRack, because they have added up to joins. I hope so. Have you all practiced the track tutorials track in SkillRack? Okay, guys, is that clear? What are the things that I have told you now? Is that clear, or do you have any doubts in it? Join, subqueries. Okay, so what I'm telling is, just if you have your own DB, then you can take questions and you can work it with your DB, or else you can go for SkillRack. So start with SkillRack. So in SkillRack, you'll be having tutorial section, database tutorials. Okay, so in programming tutorials, at last you have this SQL basics. I hope you can see this SQL basics. So inside this SQL basics, you will be having from starting from what select and aggregate functions and update functions, delete functions, and create insert functions, and also joins, unions, and group by. So everything is there. Just go and start practicing it. So if you have completed this, if you have already completed this, go for this hacker rank. Go for this HackerRank website. You will be having this SQL module here. So here, skills available for practice, you'll be having SQL. So click on this SQL and you have different SQL queries here. You can start working on this. So they'll be giving a scenario and also what is the command to use. So it is starting from basics to advanced level. It is already there. You can start practicing it. Yes. Guys, do you understand what I'm telling? Yes, guys. So okay, so I forgot to tell one thing. So there are two classes that are there, that is group by and order by. Just a minute, I'll cover that also. So after this, yes, so here not only where we have two more scenarios. One is order by, which is going to order the table in a ascending or descending order. So for ascending you have a keyword as ascending, and for descending we have a keyword as DESC. So this will order the tables in a ascending order or descending order. So example, for example, I'm going to, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the values from my, so select star from person, order by name. So by default it will uh, always arrange in the ascending order. So if I execute this, you can see that the name is already ordered. So if I want this to be in descending order, I can give it as a descending order, so that it will order the value in a descending order. So you can see, I hope you can see this. Magnify. Okay, I hope you can see this. So Ram, Balu, Arun, Anu. So this is arrange the values in a descending order. So there is to order by. So we can use this to arrange the value in a specific order. So similarly, group by. So group by is a keyword which is used to group the data into a single column. So for example, what we can do is okay, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more person to my table. So here I'm going to add one more person. So here the person is visited the scenario 1 and also scenario 2 and also scenario 3. So now I'm going to group by scenery ID. So what I'm going to do is select star from person, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to group by yes ID. So which will, okay, actually I cannot use this order by. Okay, so as you can see this, I have grouped the data based on this SID, which is nothing but the SID, that is scenery ID 1. So scenery ID 1 is visited by two persons. Scenery ID 2 is visited by two persons. Scenery ID 3 is visited by one person. Scenery ID 4 is visited by one person. Scenery ID 5 is visited by one person. So to do manipulations, I can do this. So group by will categorize or group the data based on the field values that is available there. So apart from var class, we have these two classes, that is order by and group by. Order by is mainly used to arrange the values in a ascending or descending order, and group by is to club the data into a single structure. Yes, so these are another two things that you have to focus on it. Is that clear, guys? So when you're listening, it is pretty much very easy for you for listening, but whenever you start to work on it, then only you know the difference between it. So where to use this group by, where to use this order by, where to use this var class, where to use this between. where to use this like and where to use this in command and in subquery and inner joins or right inner join or sorry right join or left join. Yes, sir. So right join and left join is nothing but right outer join or left outer join, and full join is nothing but a union of both the tables, which will display all the data from all the both the tables. So so these are the major things that you have to focus on for your SQL part. So I hope I covered pretty much everything. So how to use entity relationship model, ER model, DBMS, what is MB database, what is SQL, and how to use it and how to create it. So yes, guys. So for interview perspective, so these are the things that you have to focus more. But there are still more database concepts that are there. Um but that is not required for interview purpose, because like as I said, like procedures, so procedure is one of the concept which is used to create a dynamic tables or to execute or to execute query and to index the values. For that we'll be using procedures, and view is to just view different tables in a single or view is a part which will combine different queries result into a single query. So for example, if I want to view both the tables, like if I want to view all the values from persons and also all the values from scenario at the same time, I cannot view it, because at one time I can view only one table column. If I want to view both the values, then I have to create a view which will combine all these two values into a single query, which is nothing but again creating a select query. So procedures, views, triggers. So these are the concepts that are available there, but that is not mainly focused for your interviews. While for focusing interview, these are the concepts that you have to be aware of it. You should be aware of it, despite of your department. So, sir, I'm easy, I'm triple A, I don't know this, I don't know this. You cannot tell it. You should be aware of what is this and how we have to use it. Is that clear, guys? Yes. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Okay, no doubts. Then fine. So start practicing, guys. So I want the number of solved count from this module, MySQL module in HackerRank. So total number of problems you have solved in it. So I'll be collecting these points or the number of problems that you have solved in this SQL module. By end of tomorrow, I'll be having all these solved problems list. So I want every one of you to start working on it. So first, before starting this, I want you all to complete this tutorial part in SkillRat, and after that, you start working on this HackerRank module. Is that clear? But I want every one of you to start practicing in HackerRank. So before starting to work on HackerRank, I want you to complete the tutorials part in from SkillRat. After that, you start working on this. Is that clear? Guys, is that clear? Yes. Yes. Don't waste your time. Use it properly because your drives are lining up. I hope you already got the dates of some companies which is going to start from next week, because there are companies that is lining up. If you are missing this chance, it is very difficult. It is very hard to get a placement or to get a company. And I hope the company names, everything you have received it, because by next week the 3 to 4 companies is coming, and mainly all these companies will focus on both your programming and also your databases. So please be ready for it. Okay, guys. So that's it. So thanks for joining. So start practicing. So maybe afternoon you may have a assignment, or sorry, assessment in this, assessment in SQL. Yes, start working on it. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. You can leave.